the AAIS Virtual PYP Exhibition 2021-22. I, Ms. Kritika Murli Shankar, homeroom teacher of grade 5, along with Ms. Ekwinda Kaur, our early years faculty, will be taking you through today's proceedings.
The curtain raiser to this year's PYP exhibition began with the release of visual and performing arts production on Thursday. It was all about exploring the idea of sustainability through the lens of art. In case you had missed tuning into the inaugural, do catch it on our YouTube channel. The link to the YouTube channel is being pasted on the chat window for you to bookmark for viewing later. I now invite Ms. Lata Muthukrishnan, our PYP coordinator, to welcome the gathering this morning. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Ekwinda. Good morning to each of you present here. A very warm welcome to the members of our school board, our parents, and our students. We also have with us in the audience this morning, students and teachers from Neve Academy, Bangalore, G Global School, Tiruchengur, the Indian Public School, Salem, and Erode, and SRV International School, Razipuram. A very warm welcome to each of you for responding to our invite on the IB Regional Network and gracing the occasion with your presence this morning. The PYP exhibition is a significant milestone in the learning journey of students. What we will all witness today is the culmination of the learning of our students in their primary school. When you're able to take action to bring about a positive change in the world around you, you discover how powerful you are. Our learners have tirelessly worked along with their teachers and parents through different experiences the pandemic brought with it, and have given their best to shine, inspire, and make a positive change. Sit back and enjoy the presentations of this morning by our students of grade 5 in the Akshar Arbol International School's virtual PYP exhibition 2021-22.
Thank you, Ms. Lata, for that warm welcome note. You would have heard that the PYP exhibition is a culmination of research experience. Don't you think, Ms. Ekwinda, we should share our students' culminating experience with our audiences?
Yes, this learning experience in PYP is more process-oriented rather than product-oriented, allowing the students to identify a topic or an issue, investigate it thoroughly, and offer solutions for the same. Do you know that this process promotes holistic development in our learners?
You are right. I visibly saw a set of learners who were engaged with the primary years for a long time, equipping themselves with the skills and competencies, growing into well-rounded individuals over the course of their years in the primary years program. With extra support and guidance, our lateral entrants also coped with this process. It was indeed a wonderful experience as a facilitator to see the learners being reflective and cherish each step of the process, finally leading to the PYP exhibition journey.
Perfectly said, Ms. Kritika. Over the past 7 months, grade 5 students worked and engaged themselves both individually and in groups with the Sustainable Development Goals. There are a set of 17 global goals designed by the United Nations as a blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. And here, grade 5 are excited to present their findings and understandings with you all today.
Absolutely, Ms. Ekwinda. Before we proceed, can we pause and hear from our audience as well? As what is that one word which comes to their mind when they think of the Sustainable Development Goal?
Great idea. We can begin with that. Request all of you to click on the Mentimeter link pasted in the chat box and type your answers.
While we wait for the responses from our audience, let us begin with our first presenter of the day. He has chosen a topic which is common and is a basic need for all. Many of us out here tend to waste it or throw it off if we do not like it. Can you take a quick guess?
Oh yes, it is food. We have Shrey with us today to present his inquiry on Sustainable Development Goals number 2, Zero Hunger.
Good morning, everyone. I am Shrey. Did you all know that 8.9% of the world population is still in hunger? Before I begin my presentation, I have a question for you all. Use the link in the chat box to share your answers. What does hunger mean to you? Thank you for sharing your thoughts on what hunger means to you. The Sustainable Development Goal that I have chosen during my PYP exhibition is Zero Hunger. I chose Zero Hunger because I have seen many people on the streets struggling to get a meal in a day. People not only need food to survive, but they need nutritious food to stay healthy. My inquiry was more focused on finding out what are the various strategies and systems in place by the government to eradicate poverty and to understand the responsibility of individuals and the government on consumption and distribution of food. Initially, during my research phase, I found it difficult to use the right keywords to get the information I needed. As we progressed, I learned how to use the right keywords to find the appropriate resources. I used a skimming and scanning reading technique to find the appropriate information for my thick questions. During this process, I developed the skill of gathering the necessary data and recording it using the appropriate note-making techniques. I was also able to use my critical thinking skills to analyze and interpret the information, thereby demonstrating my research skills. I got an opportunity to interact with one of the secondary teachers who is highly involved in the community service projects of our school, Miss Saraswati. From her, I understood that it is not only enough to find out information about what hunger is, reasons for hunger alone, but in order to create awareness on not to waste food, I need to know the level of understanding individuals have on what hunger is, what wastage of food means, etc. I used her guidance to create a questionnaire to conduct a survey on the above points. I then shared the survey questionnaire with my fellow students, teachers, my parents, colleagues, family, and friends. In this process, I developed communication skills where I was able to formulate appropriate questions and get information from other people. My analysis of the survey is that people do not have food because of poverty or lack of access to food resources. The reason for wasting food is cooking excess food or unplanned eating at restaurants or requiring a variety for each meal. I developed thinking skills during this process as I was able to to analyze and interpret the information I gathered from my survey. My survey analysis gave me an insight that many of us are wasting food on a daily basis. I thought taking a promise to not waste food at home will help us understand the importance of availability of food. Hence, as part of my action phase, I wrote down a pledge which we as students will be able to do within our capacity to stop wasting food. Here is a short snippet of the pledge taken by my fellow students, family, and friends. I pledge to avoid wasting food when I eat. I will ensure to take only the sufficient portions I want and not excess. I will plan to share the leftover food to the needy in my community and not throw it away. Thereby, I pledge to take small steps within my capacity to ensure the food does not get wasted. During this process, I learned and demonstrated that we need to stand up for our own and others' rights and needs. I was able to enhance and showcase my interpersonal skills. I also learned to be a communicator as I was able to communicate and spread awareness on not to waste food to different groups of students. I was also able to make them understand the importance of taking this pledge. For those who wish to be a part of my action and take a pledge to stop wasting food, I'll be sharing a link in the chat box. Let's take action as a community. Change begins at home first. Together, we shall make a difference to the society as a whole. I would like to thank my parents, teachers, and my classmates who helped me in this PYP exhibition journey. It has been an amazing process of learning. Thank you all for being such a fantastic audience.
It was great to see how you have gone a step further and conducted a survey on what is hunger, Shrey. Definitely, it was a great inspiration to see many young students understanding their responsibility and taking the pledge to bring about a change in society. I am sure you have made the audience think about their practices, Shrey. Miss Ekwenda, before we move on to the next child, I would like to share that we have interviewed a few people who work with the larger communities in achieving these global goals. We will be sharing those responses as we proceed. Now, let us watch Mr. Anand's thoughts on his active role in uplifting the lives of the underprivileged children and how taking action as a community is essential to ensure basic opportunities to everyone.
So the first thing that comes to my mind when I read the question is that the world we live in is a system, and almost every system, the inherent quality of a system is that it's interconnected. So that means that to change anything from what it is today, the inequalities or the injustices that are happening today, for it to change, uh, just one person or one part of the system changing won't help. It requires almost all of us to change and all of us to relook at things and the way we act. So, thus, the only way forward for us to create change and to think about how to make it sustainable is to look at it as a system and thus look at it as a community. All the communities that are out there, not just one, but all the communities, and hence providing the voice and the power to those communities which don't have it right now, so that they can also be part of the system and influence the system, so that those who don't get access to basic needs can have the voice and the power to get access. Uh, so that's what I think, is that we need to work as a system and hence work as a community towards this change.
That was a thought-provoking response, sir. Up next is a learner who is very curious and loves to enhance his learning. During his inquiry on poverty, he was inspired by the tribal students wanting to beat various hurdles facing them and be educated and live a self-sustainable life. Without much delay, I welcome Rishodharan to narrate his experience of this memorable journey.
How many of us contributed to the joy of giving to the tribal children? Few of us are wondering what I am talking about. I got to experience the joy in my PYP exhibition process. It is a contribution we as a school community made to create a small difference in the lives of the tribal children out there at Gurulu. Through this process, I understood that because of poverty, many children do not have access to basic necessities such as education and clothes. During a guest lecture by Mr. Anand on how the tribal community at Gurul are striving to lead a self-sustainable life in spite of the various issues faced, inspired me to support and help those be like me and my friends. Hence, I thought the joy of giving drive, we can take a small step, bringing a change in their life. Good morning, dear parents, teachers, and distinguished guests. I am Vishodhan, and I would like to narrate my experience of the PYP exhibition journey. This year, we got an opportunity to explore and understand the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations as part of our PYP exhibition. I chose my topic as no poverty because poverty is so one of the biggest problem humanity is facing across the world. I've seen many children and adults on the road not having the basic facilities like food, clothes, education, and shelter. I felt very bad to see them in this way. Hence, I chose this topic. During my research, I inquired about the key concepts and functions of the various existing policies by the government to eradicate poverty. And causation explored the main reason for occurrence of poverty. For this, I searched through many websites, read a lot of online articles, and watched videos on the internet on this topic, which are my second resources. As said earlier, I interacted and listened to the guest lecture of Mr. Anand, who was my primary source, and learned that about what's going on in the people's lives due to poverty, what they're facing daily. I used the Deponer 6 thinking acts to consolidate and share my understanding from my research. A few key takeaways are from my research. Major causes of poverty: unemployment and underemployment, heavy pressure of population, rural economy, lack of proper industrialization, improper use of natural resources, lack of infrastructure, lack of education. Few existing policies to eradicate poverty. Prime Minister Street Vendor Atman Nair Bar Bharat, National Nutrition Mission or NNM, Poshan 2018, Ministry of Women and Child Development, Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Matan. During this research process, I developed my organization skills by setting realistic daily goals for my research, and this helped me to manage my time effectively to finish my work. I exhibited research skills by framing questions based on the lines of inquiry and by collecting information from a variety of sources. I was being an inquirer because I was curious to find the information on poverty. I displayed being principle as I was disciplined to find the information and make notes in my own words and cite the sources. There's a quick peek in my collection drive. I would like to thank all of those who have contributed to this joy of giving drive. Change begins at home. Let us join together to make a difference in the lives of the millions of children out there and change their lives. Thank you for listening to my speech. I hope you enjoy my presentation.
Rishodharan, that was a commendable collection drive that you have conducted. I'm awestruck to see so many things you and your fellow students have donated for a very good cause. I'm inspired to donate the toys and books used by my children to others in need. Let us quickly take a look at the responses we have received from our audience on the Sustainable Development Goals. How many of us have pets at home?
That was a wonderful response we received. How many of us have pets at home, be it birds, dogs, cats, etc.? We all consider them to be a part of our family, isn't it? These animals and birds shower us with unconditional love. So here we are with our next set of presenters who are pet lovers. They had chosen the Sustainable Development Goals number 15, Life on Land. And through their inquiry, they have realized how urbanization and industrialization have impacted these harmless creatures. Over to you, Samira and Anton Satya.
Good afternoon, everyone. Excited to meet you all. I am Satya, and along with my friend Samaira, we will be sharing our PYP exhibition journey and talking about our sustainable development goal, which is life on land. The sustainable goal talks about how our sustainable ways can change the environment, animals, and plants. It has been a long learning process, and our learning about sustainable ways have educated us to be responsible citizens.
Yes, Satya. I have had an interesting experience of learning, researching, formulating ideas, and analyzing and understanding the information. Once we arrived at the transdisciplinary theme, Sharing the Planet, we chose a goal from the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. I chose this goal, Life on Land, because I wanted to help animals and the environment become a better place.
Wow! The reason I chose life on land was also similar to yours. We identified the subject areas in focus, and then, as a team, we began to work with our central idea and line of inquiries. We formulated lots of questions related to the lines of inquiry in order to begin our research work. During this process, we had a long discussion among everyone, and we learned to agree to disagree and effectively learn to make big ideas. We demonstrated the attribute of being open minded.
The final stage was very engaging. It is during this stage I developed and exhibited my research skills. I was able to acquire knowledge by referring to various secondary sources, comprehending the information, making notes, analyzing and evaluating the information. What skill or attribute did you think you developed and exhibited during the finding out stage, Satya?
I think that I was an effective inquirer as I was able to come up with strong conceptual open ended questions, which helped me in taking my inquiry deeper. I was able to analyze and evaluate the various information I gathered and arrive at a conclusion, thereby demonstrating critical thinking skills. How about you, Samaira?
When I began the research, I found it challenging to use appropriate keywords to find the proper website. I took support from my homeroom teacher, and based on the feedback received, I was able to identify the correct websites that had proper information. I also realized that I have to channelize my thinking and after and as I was getting carried away with information available on the internet. Then I consciously began to engage with the resources which were related only to my topic of research. The attribute of being reflective helped me get back on track during the final stage.
As a next step,
We sorted out the information using the visible thinking routines and graphic organizers. Here is when I feel we were dialectical thinkers and inquirers, as we were able to view issues related to life on land from multiple perspectives to arrive at an understanding.
Totally agree with Satya. And this understanding led us to ideate and plan for the action phase.
The action phase is what caught my attention the most. I went deeper into my topic, the impact of urbanization on birds, which made me understand the real life problems around us. I decided to take a real life crisis, much in need of time, the decreasing of sparrows. I used my thinking skills and thought about how I could spread awareness. And a humongous idea struck me that I should do a Save Sparrow campaign for the people in my society. The action phase made me a responsible citizen and I exhibited social skills and communication skills. What did you do for action phase, Samira?
For my action phase, I wanted to spread awareness about industrialization and how it affects animals. I used coconut shells to make food and water bowls for stray dogs and cats. And I also rescued and adopted a dog and cat as my pet. I have taken the responsibility to take care of my dog. And at first, it was very difficult to handle both my dog and my studies. But I learned how to prioritize and schedule my time. My parents take care of the cat, but sometimes I feed them. At first, taking care of a dog is really hard, but after some time, it is in your schedule.
That's great, Samira. The whole PYP exhibition journey gave us the opportunities to demonstrate how we developed and applied the knowledge, conceptual understanding, skills, and learner profile attributes through the inquiries which we undertook. The PYP exhibition is an event where we can share our understandings of the real life crisis and the action phase.
Same here, Satya. The whole process was so fun and exciting. We learned so many new things, like urbanization and industrialization and how they affect animals and birds. It was a very new topic, so it was an exciting and fun topic to research about.
Thank you all
You
for
all for
patiently listening
listening
to our
to our
PYP
PYP
exhibition
exhibition
presentation.
Wow, Satya. It is nice to see the Save the Sparrow campaign you have conducted in your community and the way the children in your community have taken small steps towards placing these bird feeders that you have made in their balconies to attract more sparrows and birds. And of course, Samira, I'm super proud to see that as a young learner, you have taken the initiative along with your parents to rescue and adopt two cats and a dog and take care of their needs. It is such a wonderful thought and action of yours.
Many corporates and industries today have understood their responsibility towards society. We have also heard our learners stating the impact of industrialization on the environment. Yet again, we have a small snippet from Mr. Sridhar, founder and CEO of Ancora Health, on how the vision and mission are being aligned with the corporate social responsibility initiatives his organization has undertaken.
How does your vision and mission align with the corporate social responsibility initiatives you have undertaken in your company?
Our mission is a social responsibility. Okay, so the biggest challenge that communities, societies face globally is that their healthcare is bogged down by the amount of resources, time, energy that people spend on chronic diseases, right? And chronic diseases which could be prevented by adhering to appropriate lifestyle and also having the right kind of social environment, right? And I think so. This is where Ancora is focused on. How do we actually focus on prevention? How do you actually enhance access to tools that enable people to gain awareness and a degree of mastery over their physical and social environments, to level. If you think in terms of social responsibility, it starts with an idea of individual responsibility and accountability. And so that is where we think healthcare needs to move. So we need to place individuals, whether they are citizen consumers, patients, or employees, we need to be aware of what our health and well-being needs are, and we need to be able to take appropriate course of action. And that is the direction in which broadly everything is proceeding. And we would like to be an important catalyst and contributor to that.
That was an insightful talk, sir. As you rightly said, we need to understand our individual responsibilities to achieve the bigger goal. With so much to think and ponder, let us take a quick 15-minute coffee break, and we will begin again at 10:30 a.m. with the next set of presentations. Kindly join us back by clicking on the link in the invitation by 11:25 a.m. sharp. As you have your coffee, please do share your experiences of the Akshar Arbol International School's virtual PYP exhibition 2021-22 on your social media handles and tag us that you see on the screen. Thank you.